Hello everyone, I'm Gareth Master974 back again today doing another Valve source code tutorial video, and today I'm going to get around to showing you how to add an animated menu background into your source mod, not only for standard game UI stuff but also using the gamepad UI, and how to resolve some of the issues that you'll come across when experimenting around with this feature. So I do need to give a thank you to Bonnie39 and to Utopic Tahu. I hope I'm not butchering those names, but thank you for the suggestions, and I know that these comments were several months old and you also suggested having a different sort of image load for different maps, but this video is going to be long enough as it is, so that will have to come at another point. And I also need to give a bit of a thank you and shout out to Waddles for helping out and providing some of the code that is going to improve this feature somewhat. So let's just get into the guide. So you want to open up your game's solution and you want to go to the client project. Then in the source files filter you can right click and go to add new item, and you need to add menu background.h and menu background.cpp. And I'll leave a link in the description of the video which will take you to a Valve Developer Wiki guide that outlines how you can add this feature, which provides the menu background files that you're going to need, so you can just open those up, copy and paste the contents into the respective menu background files that you'll create. So with these files added, you want to go to the cdll client int.cpp file which is on the client, and you want to find the chl client post init function, and above it you want to add void swap disconnect command, and then inside of the actual post init function at the bottom you want to add swap disconnect command. This is defined in menu background.cpp for anyone who's wondering where this is coming from. Then you want to go to base viewport.h, which is in your source code's game client game controls folder, and below the getDefMessage start height function, you want to add void start main menu video and void stop main menu video. And also at the bottom of the file underneath int m_old size, which is an array of size 2, you want to add a private section and add class cMainMenu called *m_p main menu panel. The reason for this is because we're going to be going to baseviewport.cpp, and making the modifications to the .h file first just makes this a bit easier. So near the top of the file you want to add hashtag include of menu background.h, and then in the constructor you want to add m_p main menu panel equals null, and in the destructor you want to add if m_b has parent and m_p main menu panel, then m_p main menu panel arrow mark for deletion, and then m_p main menu panel equals null. Then you want to go to the start function and add, and I'm just going to say p main menu panel from now on just to make my life a bit easier, but you want to set that to be a new cMain menu passing through inputs of null and null. Then p main menu panel arrow set zpos of 500, p main menu panel arrow set visible of false, and p main menu panel arrow start video. Then you want to go to the on-screen size changed function and you want to add bool brestart main video equals false. Then if p main menu panel, then brestart main menu video equals p main menu panel arrow is video playing. Then p main menu panel equals new cMain menu passing through inputs of null and null. P main menu panel arrow set zpos of 500, p main menu panel arrow set visible of false, and if brestart main menu video, then p main menu panel arrow start video. Then you want to go to the remove all panels function and you want to add if p main menu panel, then p main menu panel arrow mark for deletion, and p main menu panel equals null. And then after this, you want to go to the getDefMessage start height function, and below it, you want to add these two functions. So you want to have void cBaseViewport : start main menu video, and in this function you're going to say if p main menu panel, then p main menu panel arrow start video, and then void cbase viewport : stop main menu video. And in this function, you're going to say if p main menu panel, then p main menu panel arrow stop video. And finally, you want to go to convar.h, which is located in your source code's public tier 1 directory. And you want to find the create function. And above it, it should say protected, but you want to change that to public. So at this point, you can build the solution. But one of the things you're going to need is an actual background video, which is in the .bic or .bik video format, and that file needs to be placed inside of your mod's media folder. If it doesn't exist, then create it. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to be using some of the videos from Portal 2 just for demonstration purposes. And when you launch into your mod now, you'll notice that the title text will be missing, and pretty much all of the VGUI materials for chapters, achievements, and all that stuff is going to be fully white or just not showing up. Now, you can resolve some of these issues by using the Gamepad UI feature, which I've done a video about, and stuff like the chapter images and difficulty images will show up properly, but the achievement icons will still be missing. So how can you go about resolving these issues? Well, you need to go to your mod's materials VGUI folder, and you need to go into the .vmt files that are going to be located here. I need to specify that the chapter images aren't provided. They're inside of the Source 2013 single player directory, so you need to extract the files from there if you want to change those. But for stuff like the achievement icons, as you'll see in the video, all I do is open up the .vmt files, and you want to add inside of speech marks $ignore Z, and then in another set of speech marks 1, and then pretty much apply that to all of the necessary materials. And I'll probably speed this up so you can see exactly what I'm doing. But when you go back into the mod, you should notice that all of the materials will now display correctly. And this would also apply to chapter images if you've made the changes to the chapter images as well. Alright, so now let's get on to some of the improvements that were contributed by Waddles. Now, this was a painstaking process of analysing the code that Waddles sent to me versus the code that was already present, and let's just say this took a little bit of time, and I'm just going to outline all of the required changes to the best of my ability here. Alright, so you want to go back to cdll client int.cpp, and underneath the swap disconnect command line that we added inside of the post init function, you just want to add engine arrow client cmd and then inside of speech marks disconnect. Then going back to base viewport.cpp inside of the start function, you want to remove the set zpos line, and then going to on screen size changed, you want to remove everything that we added previously and replace it with if m_p main menu panel, then m_p main menu panel arrow b init equals false, and m_p main menu panel arrow apply scheme settings of null. Now b init is going to be undefined, so we're going to be getting to that in a little bit. Next, you want to go back to convar.h and you want to find the dispatch function. And underneath this function, there's a private section, and you just want to replace the private with public. Now you want to go to menu background.h, which is one of the files that I told you to get earlier, and we're going to make these changes. So first and foremost, you want to remove the set black background function, and in the private section above m_b loaded, you want to add the following variables. So we're going to be creating some ints, m_draw logo x1, x2, y1 and y2. You'll see that in the video. Two color 32s called m_draw logo color 1 and 2. Two wchar_t asterisks called m_draw logo text 1 and 2. And a VGUI : h font called m_draw logo font. And also add a brief public section with ball b init placed in there. And you also want to remove the C material reference, m_main menu ref and ball m_b black background lines. And now you want to go to menu backgrounds.cpp, and we've got a lot of stuff to do here, so let's get into it. So you want to add #include fmt str.h to the top of the file with the #include stuff. And then beneath the hashtag include tier0/memdbgone.h line, you want to add wchar_t asterisk called wstrdup, passing through an input of a const wchar_t asterisk called str. Then if !str, then return null. Then size_t len equals wcs_len of str plus 1. wchar_t called asterisk copy equals, in brackets, wchar_t asterisk of malloc, and then in brackets len multiplied by size of wchar_t. Then if copy, then for size_ti equals 0, I less than len and I++, then copy inside of square brackets I equals str of square brackets I, and then outside of the if statements return copy. And what I'm going to be outlining next is if you want to have multiple background videos, which is actually going to be based off of the value of the SV unlocked chapters convar. So you can follow this step if you want to. So we're going to be creating an array of constchar asterisks as static constchar asterisk called background names with square brackets after it, and that equals inside of curly brackets. And here is where you would place the names of the videos that you want to play on the main menu. So for example, I have something like main menu, and then menu_act03, menu_act05, because those are the videos taken from Portal 2. Then we're going to create another array, static constchar asterisk called background songs with square brackets after it. And that's equal to, inside of curly brackets, whatever sounds you want to play as background music. So I choose HL2 song 33, HL2 song 17, and HL1 song 3. All of these are in the music folder, so you'll see exactly what to do in the video. And you're also going to create an array of floats as static float background songs volume with square brackets after it and equals inside the curly brackets. And I guess these are values between 0 and 1, which represent the volume of the audio. So in this case, I've just used stock values of 0.8f, 0.75f, and 0.85f. Then we're also going to be creating some static variables. So you want to create a static board called boverrideVideo, which equals false. A static char asterisk called boverrideVideoBuff, which equals null. A static char asterisk called boverrideVideoSongBuff, which equals null. And a static float called FLVolume, which equals null. Then we're going to create a static constchar asterisk called getBackgroundName for unlocked level, passing through an input of a const int called andValue. And in this function, we're going to say if boverrideVideo and boverrideVideoBuff, then return boverrideVideoBuff. Then create an int rsize, which is short for array size, and set that equal to be, surprisingly, array size of background names. Then if rsize is exactly equal to 0, then return just a set of speech marks that are empty. Then if value -1 is lower than 0, then return background names of element 0. Else if value -1 is greater than or equal to rsize, then return background names of rsize -1, and then return background names of value -1. And you'll see that in the video. Next, we're going to create another function, a static constchar asterisk called getBackgroundSong for unlocked level, again passing through an input of a const int called andValue. And you can pretty much copy paste exactly what we did in the previous function from int rsize to the return line. Instead of background names, just replace it with background songs. That's pretty much all you'd want to do there. And the final function we're going to be creating here is a static float called getBackgroundSongVolume for unlocked level, again passing through an input of a const int called andValue. And what we're going to say here is if value -1 is lower than 0, or value -1 is greater than or equal to array size of background songs volume, then return 1.0f, otherwise return background songs volume of value -1. So after this, you can remove the client effect precache stuff, and in the constructor, remove the set black background and the m_main menu ref.init lines, and you want to add these underneath m_b loaded equals false. So you want m underscore draw logo x1, y1, x2 and y2 to be set to 0, m underscore draw logo text 1 and 2 to be set to null, m underscore draw logo color 1 to be a color 32 and inside the curly brackets 255 4 times, and then m underscore draw logo color 2 to be a color 32 and then inside the curly brackets 255 3 times, and the last value to be 128. Then m underscore draw logo font equals invalid font and binit equals false. Then in the destructor, you want to add underneath mark for deletion. If m underscore draw logo text 1, then free m underscore draw logo text 1. And if m underscore draw logo text 2, then free m underscore draw logo text 2. Then inside of the apply scheme settings function, you pretty much want to replace the contents of the function with what I'm going to outline here. And this is going to get a bit lengthy, and also I'm going to have to zoom out the video so you can actually see everything, but hopefully you can read the text. So if binit return, binit equals true, set pos of -1, -1, set size of screen width +2 and then screen height +2, set zpos of 1, then vgui : I scheme called asterisk scheme equals vgui : scheme with brackets after it, arrow, get I scheme of vgui : scheme with brackets after it, arrow, get scheme, and then in speech marks client scheme. Then if exclamation mark scheme, you can leave a con warning to say that there's a missing client scheme, and then return. And then m underscore draw logo x1 equals vgui : scheme with brackets after it, arrow, get proportional scaled value of a to I of scheme, arrow, get resource string, and then inside the speech marks main.title1.x. And you can pretty much copy paste this line, but change x1 to y1, x2, y2, and then change main.title1.x to .y for y1, and then title2.x for x2, and title2.y for y2. Then do util string to color 32 of and m underscore draw logo color 1, scheme, arrow, get resource string of, and then in speech marks main.title1.color, and pretty much copy paste the line but replace draw logo color 1 with draw logo color 2 and title 1 to title 2. Then m underscore draw logo font equals scheme, arrow, get font of inside the speech marks client title font and true. Then create a key values AD called m underscore p mod data, which is inside the speech marks mod data. Then if exclamation mark m underscore p mod data, arrow, load from file of file system, then in speech marks game info.txt, and in another set of speech marks mod in all capitals, then return. Then if m underscore draw logo text 1, free draw logo text 1, if draw logo text 2, free draw logo text 2, and then set draw logo text 1 and draw logo text 2 to null. And then you can add this section inside the curly brackets if you want to. I don't think it's strictly necessary, but you want to add const chart asterisk title, which equals m underscore p mod data, arrow, get string of inside of speech marks title, and then just an empty set of speech marks after that. Then create a wchar underscore t called game title, which is an array of size 128, which equals inside of curly brackets 0. Then create an int called I and set it to be equal to 0, and then create a for loop by doing for, then just semicolon, I lower than 128, and title of element I does not equal 0, and ++ I. Then game title of I equals a wchar underscore t of title of element I, and then outside of that for loop do m underscore draw logo text 1 equals wstrdup of game title, and you can pretty much copy paste this section but replace title with title 2 and draw logo text 1 with draw logo text 2. Then do if m underscore draw logo text 1 and wcslen of m underscore draw logo text 1 is exactly equal to 0, then free m underscore draw logo text 1 and m underscore draw logo text 1 equals null. And you can pretty much copy paste this line and replace draw logo text 1 with draw logo text 2. After this, you want to go to the start video function and you want to remove everything after the set paint enabled true line, and you want to add a convar ref called sv_unlocked chapters, which is inside the speech marks sv_unlocked chapters. Then if begin playback of cfmtstr of, and then inside the speech marks media /%s.bic. Then outside of the speech marks, get background name for unlocked level of sv_unlocked_chapters.getInt. There's a few brackets there, so make sure you get all the brackets correct. But inside of that if statement, you just want to say m_b loaded equals true. Then if b override video buff, then free b override video buff, and then b override video buff equals null. Now you want to go to the paint function and add to the if m_b paint video section m_n playback height equals screen height plus 2 and m_n playback width equals screen width plus 2. Then remove the if m_b black background statement and its contents, and also at the end of the function you want to remove everything after the p-render context arrow pop matrix line. And after that line, you want to add, and as you'll see in the video here, if engine arrow is drawing loading image, then return. Then if m_draw logo text 1, then do surface with brackets after it arrow draw set text font of m_draw logo font. Surface with brackets after it arrow draw set text color of m_draw logo color1.r, then .g.b.a. Then surface with brackets after it arrow draw set text pos of m_draw logo x1 and m_draw logo y1, and then surface with brackets after it arrow draw print text of m_draw logo text1 wcslen of m_draw logo text1. And you can pretty much copy paste this but replace text1 with text2, draw logo color1 with draw logo color2, draw logo x1, y1 with x2, y2, and so on and so on. After this, you want to go to the begin playback function and you want to remove the m_n playback height and m_n playback width lines. Then you want to remove the void cmain menu : set black background function. And then inside of the __ disconnect con command function, you want to add after the engine arrow client cmd unrestricted line a convar ref called sv_unlocked chapters, which is inside the speech marks sv_unlocked chapters. Then do engine arrow client cmd of cfmtstr of, and then in speech marks stop sound semicolon play vol %s%f, and outside of that do b override video and b override video song buff question mark b override video song buff colon get background song for unlocked level of sv_unlocked chapters.getInt, and then comma b override video question mark fl volume colon get background song volume for unlocked level of sv_unlocked chapters.getInt. Again, a lot of brackets here, so you just need to make sure you get the brackets in the correct places. Then if b override video song buff, then free b override video song buff and b override video song buff equals null. And then outside of that if statement, b override video equals false. Then outside of this function, you want to add a void cc_map background passing through inputs of a const c command called and_args. Then if args.argc is lower than 2, you can leave a con message, just it tells you what to do, but I'm not going to get into that, and then return. Then if a2i of args.arg4 does not equal 0, then b override video equals true, b override video buff equals _strdup of args.arg1, b override video song buff equals _strdup of args.arg2, and fl volume equals a2f of args.arg3, and then finally __ disconnect of c command with just an empty set of curly brackets after it. And finally, you want to go into the swap disconnect command function, and underneath the con command *_disconnect command line, you want to add a con command called *_startup menu, which is a dynamic cast of con command * of g_p cvar arrow find command of inside the speech marks startup menu, and another con command called map background, which equals another dynamic cast of con command * of g_p cvar arrow find command of map background inside the speech marks, as you'll see in the video. Then after the *disconnect command arrow init line, you want to add if _startup menu, then _startup menu arrow m_b has completion callback equals false, and _startup menu arrow m_fn command callback equals _ disconnect. And in a separate if statement, if map background, then map background arrow shutdown, map background arrow create of inside of speech marks map_background, and then you can add a help string if you want to after that. I'm not going to get into it. Then map_background arrow init, map background arrow m_b has completion callback equals false, and map background arrow m_fn command callback equals cc_map background. Alright, so with these changes you can build the solution and the main menu text should now display. This also includes the ability for pretty much anyone to use the map background command to change the background video, the song, and the song's volume. As I mentioned earlier, the SV unlocked chapters convar is used to determine which video, which sounds to play for the main menu background. So you can pretty much expand, contract the background names, background songs, and background song volume arrays as I discussed earlier to accommodate for any changes that you might want to have for your mods. And so there's one last thing I'm going to get into, which is that if you want to use the Gamepad UI feature, there's going to be something you need to do to make sure that the game UI text doesn't draw when you're in the Gamepad UI mode. So you want to go to menu backgrounds.h and you want to add bool m_b Gamepad UI mode underneath bool m_b tools mode, as you'll see in the video. And then go to menu background.cpp, and at the very top of the paint function, you want to add m_b Gamepad UI mode equals, inside the brackets, is PC, and in another set of brackets, command line with brackets after it, arrow, check palm of, inside the speech marks, -Gamepad UI does not equal null, and you'll see what to do in the video. But outside of that, after the brackets, $true, false, and then after the if engine arrow is drawing loading image if statement, you want to add if m_b Gamepad UI mode, then return. So what this change ensures is that the standard game UI menu text doesn't get drawn when you're using the Gamepad UI feature, but if the Gamepad UI feature is disabled, then the standard game UI menu text gets drawn. So that is something that you can do to basically have a better looking main menu for both Game UI and Gamepad UI modes if you choose to follow this section. But yeah everyone, that is the video. I hope you found this very helpful. I have a lot of video footage to go through and over half an hour of recording of this audio session to get through, so I'll get around to doing that. And as always, let me know what you think about the video. Thank you to Waddles for helping out with some of the code, and you can check their channel out and the Alone mod and all that stuff if you want to. But I'm gonna be seeing you in the next video, I guess. So yep, take care out there, peace out, see you later, and have a great day.